Is Toby the one like pressing play on stuff? Okay, cool. Someone lose a phone. We found this in one of the restrooms. It's black, has a pop socket on it with a rainbow. Black OtterBox. Anyone? Okay, it's mine now. Did you find a chalice?
walking by, somebody was like, I know it's not your phone. And I was like, no. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, I can ready when you are. Okay. Alex, we're gonna get going. Okay, cool.
Good morning. My name is Stearns Matthews. Welcome to the Unitarian Society of Germantown. My pronouns are he, him, and I am your Director of Music Ministries. Please rise in body or spirit for opening hymn number 346, Come Sing a Song With Me. We sang this last week, and you all sounded so wonderful, we decided to do it again.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Society of Germantown. My name is Alexandra. My pronouns are she, her. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation seeking to support one another as we grow our souls and affirm that another world is possible. We celebrate the gift of life each week here at Sunday service, and we are so honored that you have joined us this morning. No matter your gender, your race, your sexual orientation, your class, family structure, employment status, or your health, know that you are welcome here, just as you are. As Unitarian Universalists, we are diverse in our spiritual beliefs. Some of us are atheists, some are agnostics, some believe in God, but all of us put love at the center of our lives. All are invited to join us in that common purpose. If you are a newcomer this week, we encourage you to fill out our visitor form and introduce yourself at the welcome table. To find out more about our community and how you can deepen your belonging, sign up to receive our weekly e-newsletter, The Communicator. You can also follow us on Instagram at UU Germantown. For our announcements today, new name procedure. If you requested a name tag, you'll find a section of the name tag board just through the hallway marked new, and that's where you can find your name tag. And because of the impending snowstorm, we are canceling all after-church activities and encouraging folks to go home and salt their sidewalks. And now, as we deepen into worship, I ask that you silence your cell phones, but not your children. Their sounds are welcome here.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Hannah Capaldi. I use she, her pronouns, and I joyfully serve this congregation as your minister. I'm happy to see so many kids here with us today. I had a thought that maybe parents would say, like, this is our moment to get out before we don't get out again. And our call to worship today is going to be a video. It's going to be a read aloud of a book called Owl Moon. After which we are going to meet a real live owl. So everybody enjoy Owl Moon, and then we'll meet a little animal.
Owl Moon. It was late one winter night, long past my bedtime, when Pa and I went owling. There was no wind. The trees stood still as giant statues, and the moon was so bright, the sky seemed to shine. Somewhere behind us, a train whistle blew, long and low, like a sad, sad song. I could hear it through the woolen cap I pulled down over my ears. A farm dog answered the train, and then a second dog joined in. They sang out, trains and dogs, for a really long time. And when their voices faded away, it was as quiet as a dream. We walked on toward the woods, Pa and I. Our feet crunched over the crisp snow, and little gray footprints followed us. Pa made a long shadow, but mine was short and round. I had to run after him every now and then to keep up, and my short round shadow bumped after me. But I never called out. If you go owling, you have to be quiet. That's what Pa always says. I have been waiting to go owling with Pa for a long, long time. We reached the line of pine trees, black and pointy against the sky, and Pa held up his hand. I stopped right where I was and waited. He looked up, as if searching the stars, as if reading a map up there. The moon made his face into a silver mask. Then he called, "Woo, woo, woo, woo," the sound of a great horned owl. "Woo, woo, woo, woo." Again he called out, and then again. After each call, he was silent, and for a moment, we both listened. But there was no answer. Pa shrugged, and I shrugged. I was not disappointed. My brothers all said, sometimes there's an owl, and sometimes there isn't. We walked on. I could feel the cold, as if someone's icy hand was palmed down on my back. And my nose and the tops of my cheeks felt cold and hot at the same time. But I never said a word. If you go owling, you have to be quiet and make your own heat. We went into the woods. The shadows were the blackest things I had ever seen. They stained the white snow. My mouth felt furry, for the scarf over it was wet and warm. I didn't ask what kinds of things hide behind black trees in the middle of the night. When you go owling, you have to be brave. Then we came to a clearing in the dark woods. The moon was high above us. It seemed to fit exactly cereal bowl. I sighed, and Pa held up his hand at the sound. I put my mittens over the scarf over my mouth and listened hard. And then Pa called, "Woo, woo, 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 woo." I listened and looked so hard my ears hurt and my eyes got cloudy with the cold. Pa raised his face to call out again, but before he could open his mouth, an echo came threading its way through the trees. Pa almost smiled. Then he called back, just as if he and the owl were talking about summer, or about the woods, or the moon, or the cold. I took my mitten off the scarf off my mouth, and I almost smiled too. The owl's call came closer, from high up in the trees on the edge of the meadow. Nothing in the meadow moved. All of a sudden, an owl shadow, part of the big tree shadow, lifted off and flew right over us. We watched silently, with heat in our mouths, the heat of all those words we had not spoken. The shadow hooted again. Pa turned on his big flashlight and caught the owl just as it was landing on a branch. For 1 minute, 3 minutes, maybe even 100 minutes, we stared at one another. Then the owl pumped its great wings and lifted off the branch like a shadow without sound. It flew back into the forest. "Time to go home," Pa said to me. I knew then I could talk. I could even laugh out loud. But I was a shadow as we walked home. When you go owling, you don't need words, or warmth, or anything but hope. That's what Pa said. The kind of hope that flies on silent wings under a shining owl moon.
I want to invite Sean McKee to light our chalice today, the symbol of our shared Unitarian Universalist faith. We join in congregations around the world, the country, in our ritual lighting. Please read with me the words printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another.
Okay, Courtney, this is our big moment. For the kids, if you want to come close, come on up. And remember, when you go owling, you have to be very quiet. You want to put heck up on that? Yeah. Courtney, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name's Courtney Dowd, she, her pronouns. Thanks so much for having me. Some of you may have seen me here before. I do programs with Birds of Prey, and I have an owl to share with you all right now. So just like in the video, if you're quieter, we'll have a better chance of her talking to us. I can't guarantee that she'll make any noise, but hopefully she'll do a couple calls. So I'll tell you a bit about her when I bring her out and make sure everyone gets a close view.
Do you want to try and see if she'll whistle back to you?
I'm gonna try one call while she's still in the box, because sometimes that's her favorite spot. She feels nice and hidden and safe in there. Did you hear that? Let's see if she'll make any when I bring her out. She did make a little noise. She's pretty quiet right now.
Yeah. I can hold that for you. Yeah.
So that great horned owl up there, pretty awe-inspiring. It's a very, very large owl. This bird is inspiring. So let me get her out to you. Something a little bit different than a great horned owl, but some similarities too.
So this is Heck, right? And do you want to use a microphone? Okay.
This is Hecate. She's an eastern screech owl. She's a red phase. They also come in gray. They're native to this area. If you live close to the Wissahickon, or even if you're a little bit away from them, you probably hear them from time to time. If you're very lucky, you might see them. Owls are super secretive. They fly silently. She's giving you a great view of her 180-degree neck turn there. She was, at least. Here's her best party trick. Toot, 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 toot.
And Courtney, why does Heck live with you?
So Heck is imprinted on me. She was rescued from a nest box that her owl parents chose. It was in the middle of a lake, and so owls aren't waterproof. It was meant to be for wood ducks. It would have been a great home for them, but screech owls took up residence in it, and so their young would have fledged into the water and not survived. So a falconer friend rescued the baby owls and gave them to different educators and falconers in the area. So Heck's been with me for 10 days. When I got this bird, I didn't know what sex she would be. I didn't know what color she would be. And so it turned out she's a red phase and a female. So Hecate, she's named after the goddess of nighttime and magic. Yeah, and she doesn't know that she's an owl. So she can't go back to the wild because she thinks that we're all the same species here.
So do you all have any questions that maybe you want to whisper? Okay, let's start. Roman, you had your hand up for a little while. Do you have a question for Courtney?
We heard a great horned owl in our backyard.
Sweet. So
Excellent.
If you go owling, you want to start calling for the smallest owls first, because if you call the largest owl, they're going to scare all the little owls away. Unfortunately, little owls are on the menu for larger owls. So you want to start with a screech or a saw-whet. If no one shows up, then you move to a larger owl, like a barred owl or a great horned owl.
You want to ask a question?
My family put up an owl box in our yard for an eastern screech owl to come live in it.
I hope someone takes up residence. Maybe this spring. Maybe you'll get a pair.
That could be cool. Okay.
I've heard a screech owl. I've heard an owl in our when I was sleeping in my mom's room, and I wonder if it's a screech owl. And I've heard it a couple times.
So there's two main calls that they have. It's really different than owl classic, that great horned owl hoo that we all kind of associate with owls. For them, if it ever sounds like a bird imitating a horse, it's a screech owl. So they also have another call that's like a single note, so the same note over and over again. Then it was probably a screech owl. If you're ever like, there's no way there's a horse in that tree, so what's going on here? It's probably a screech owl.
Kylam, do you have a question?
How can she turn her head around without moving her tummy?
Great question.
How can she turn her head around so far? So we have 7 bones in our neck. All mammals do, humans, mice, giraffes, 7 bones in their neck. Birds have 14. So they are able to turn their head much farther. And we can move our eyes, we can look from left to right. Owls can't. They have to turn their whole head if they want to look in a new direction. So if she's focused on something, what she's doing is she's actually making many, many, many movements with her neck so her head stays in the same place. Just like if I'm staring at something and I move my head, I'm making many, many movements with my eyes for them to stay in the same place. We do it without even thinking.
How long have you had the owl, and how old is the owl?
So I got her, she hatched in April 2020, so she's about to be 6 years old. So she's about middle age. She's never been any larger than this. She's been a little bit smaller than this when she was a chick. But she's full size, and females are usually about a third larger than the males. So she's on the whopping huge side of a screech owl at about 6 ounces. Yeah, so she's been with me for almost 6 years. She's 6 years old. Yeah, almost. It'll be her sixth birthday in April.
Can you tell us a little bit about why owls are so quiet in the night? What's special about them that they can be so quiet?
Yeah, so owls, they're a bird of prey, which means they have to hunt all their food. And the way that they hunt effectively is by stealth, is by being sneaky. So they don't want to be seen, they don't want to be heard most of the time. So they're built to be as sneaky and quiet and camouflaged, blending in with their surroundings as possible. So almost everything about the owl is to enhance her hearing and to enhance her camouflage. So her feathers are built in a special way that there's no noise when she flies.
No noise.
Just silent flight, so an owl just appears next to you. You don't hear it coming. And you can see her moving those ear tufts. I recently learned the very cool word for them is plumicorns. They're also called ear tufts or horns, neither ears nor horns. They're special feathers to help her look like a dead tree branch.
Oh.
Are you wearing those gloves that the oils in your hands don't get on her?
So it's more so that her talons don't scratch me, but her talons are not very, they're rough on a mouse, they're not so bad on my thumb. So it's more a place to safely tether her on my glove. It's best practice to always wear a glove when you're handling a bird of prey, but she's so small, it's not really a danger to me.
Why does she think that she's the same kind of animal as us?
So because I got her when she was so young, when she was 10 days old, she's what's called imprinted. Some animals, when they're young, whatever they see taking care of them the most, or whatever they see the most that's alive, they think that's what they are. So she thinks we are twins. I don't know if you could tell. She thinks that I'm her mom. I'm kind of her mom. I'm kind of a mirror. I'm kind of like a mate or a friend. So I look like all humans are potentially, parents, friends, partners. She's actually afraid of other screech owls because she doesn't know that she's one of them or that they're one of her.
I'm also 6 years old.
Oh my gosh, same age. We have a joint birthday.
Okay, June, this is going to be our last question, and then we're going to say bye to the owl. Did you get shy? Do you want to tell me?
I forgot what I was going to say.
If you remember it, will you tell me? Okay. Oh, Jess, you have a question? Or you have something you want to say? No? A fake out? Okay. Ruth, you have one more question?
I can tell you why in less words why
Question? You have a question? Oh, okay. Does anyone have a question? Oh, yeah, you have a question.
What's the date of her birthday?
Oh, maybe Faye has the same birthday.
I believe it's 4/14/2020.
Oh.
I'd have to go back through my photos.
June, honey, did you remember? No? Okay.
I don't know what sign she is. If someone knows what sign that is, shout it out. Nice. Okay, great.
I'm just waiting for
Can she look at a mirror, or is like looking at a mirror will she realize she's an owl? Or?
She's not too sure what to make of a mirror. I have a mirror like on my close to her aviary, but not where she can see it from it. And when she catches a glimpse, you can tell she's like, "What is that? Who is that? It's not me." Yeah. But sometimes rehabbers will put a mirror in a nest with birds if they don't have an adult of the same species, so that they imprint on themselves. And so they do know what they are, but it's just not the adult of their same species.
I feel like that's a sermon. Imprinting upon yourself. Okay, so we're gonna say goodbye to Heck. Let's all wave quietly in appreciation.
She's probably gonna do a cute little hop into her box because she loves going into a dark, small space.
Yeah, let's watch this cute little hop. Okay, everyone, we're going to sing you off to your CSD classes now. If everyone can join us in singing Go Now in Peace.
Wow. Did anybody else get misty-eyed? Because I did. I was like, that was really amazing. It's been hard lately to remember what hope means to me. When I got the email that Reverend Hannah would be speaking about hope, I took a deep breath and I thought, what do I have to say about that? Hope feels really complicated right now. When I was a child, hope meant something very specific. I grew up in a home that was unstable. I didn't know what version of the day that I would get. And so I hoped, not in a naive way, but in a reaching way. I carried that hope into my childhood church, into school, into teachers and adults who felt steady. Hope for me was reaching beyond my small world towards something larger. And I was met. Community held me. I learned that hope is not passive. It reaches outward. Hope showed up again when I found my son was coming. In that moment, something shifted. I realized that I had an opportunity to interrupt a pattern. Becoming a mother required me to face my own childhood honestly. And for me, hope meant creating distance between me and my mother. I cut ties with her so that something healthier could begin. That kind of hope wasn't joyous. It was achingly uncomfortable. It was uncertain. I didn't know where it would lead. I only knew that staying the same was not an option. Today, I have hope for my child and his future, and that hope begins with how I mother him, which on most days looks like trying to model steadiness while also remembering where I put my coffee. But I also know that I can't control who he will become. I cannot guarantee the world that he'll inherit. My hope is that I can only participate through love, through steadiness, through the choices that I make in shaping what's possible. The world feels unpredictable in ways that are hard to ignore. But if my life has taught me anything, it's that hope is not believing that everything is going to work out on its own. Hope is participating. It is reaching. It is making the brave decision even when the outcome is not guaranteed. When I look back at little me, I smile at her, and I am proud of her hope, of the bravery it took to feel it and reach for it, even through hardship. That hope grew, and today, it shows up as a decision to again and again act with uncertainty. And that is the hope that I have to remember to carry forward. Thank you. This week, we share the plate with Congreso de Latinos Unidos, a human services organization with roots in the heart of North Philadelphia's Latino communities and a reach that extends the welcoming and inclusive spirit of familia and mi casa es su casa to all. Their mission is to enable those in predominantly Latino organizations to achieve economic self-sufficiency and well-being. Please give generously, as we have found that the more we give away, the more comes our way. Directions for giving via text can be found in your order of service. Cash and checks can also be dropped in plates as ushers pass by.
Take a deep breath. Let the silence of a night walking on the snow fill your body. Let the stillness of the dark trees come into being in yourself. Let your shoulders fall. Let your jaw relax. Fill your lungs. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. All that you brought with you today is welcome here. Bring the grief of more snow, the anxiety of sidewalks to be shoveled, car batteries that might die, children at home again. The yearning we have for spring, for green and sun. Bring the loneliness of the season, stuck inside. Bring the feeling of isolation and alienation from your neighbors, from your friends, from yourself. That separation and space that rises in you, the space that's hard to reach out, to close. Let the heartbreak come forward now. The heaviness and the sadness of all that you are hoping for, all that you are wishing for. All that feels just out of reach, just beyond your control. Set it down and let it be easy. Just for this moment. Know that you are okay. You are safe. You are held. By a love greater, a power of affection and warmth and unconditional safety that can never be taken from you. Take a deep breath. Let yourself rest as the knowledge of that love fills your body. Breathe deep. You matter. What you do with your life matters. We're going to close our time of prayer today with the words of Reverend Jesse Jackson. I am somebody. I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be young, but I am somebody. I may be on welfare, but I am somebody. I may be small, but I am somebody. I may have made mistakes, but I am somebody. My clothes are different. My face is different. My hair is different, but I am somebody. I am black, brown, or white. I speak a different language, but I must be respected, protected, never rejected. I am God's child. Reverend Jackson, may you rest in power wherever you are. Your 84 years were not enough. We could have done with more. Breathe deep, beloveds. Exhale and rest easy in the silence and the stillness. Let us sing together while we remain seated. Number 352, Find a Stillness.
Rebecca Solnit said, "Hope locates itself in the premises that we don't know what will happen, and that in the spaciousness of uncertainty is the room to act. When you recognize uncertainty, you recognize that you may be able to influence the outcomes. You alone, or you in concert with a few dozen or several million others. Hope is an embrace of the unknown and the unknowable, an alternative to the certainty of both optimists and pessimists. Optimists think it will be fine without our involvement. Pessimists take the opposite position. Both excuse themselves from acting. It's the belief that what we do matters, even though how or when it may matter, who and what it may impact, are not things that we can know beforehand. We may not, in fact, know the afterward either. But they matter all the same. And history is full of people whose influence was the most powerful after they were gone."
When you go owling, you don't need words or warm or anything but hope. That's what Pa says. the kind of hope that flies on silent wings under a shining owl moon. When the little girl in our story today wanders into the dark woods with her father, it is with nothing but hope. A cherished idea that perhaps, just maybe, they'll see an owl. They go together through the cold and the black of night into the wildness of the possibility that they will get what they desire, the chance encounter with a bird. Majestic, the quiet of its wings, the wideness of its pupils, the sharpness of its talons. A chance encounter is what they went out seeking, knowing they couldn't make it happen. They couldn't will it to happen, just that they had to head out and see, venture forth, and try. I like to preach from children's stories because they really distill down the essential truths into very clear instruction. You don't need anything but hope, the kind that flies on silent wings through the dark of night in the coldest season of our lives. I shared this story on this day when it seems for so many of us hope is getting harder and harder to find. We are all sitting side by side, watching the world burn from our phones. The tides of cynicism and maybe paralysis washing over us. We feel disappointment all around. How is anyone supposed to have hope? And where, oh where, do we find it? Hope's secret, writes poet Rosemary Wahola Traumer, is it doesn't know the destination. It knows only that all roads begin with one foot in front of the other. Through the crunch of ice underfoot, and the pitch-black sky speckled with stars, a young girl and her father go out to learn a lesson in hope. One step at a time, one foot in front of the other. We don't know the destination, only that we must move forward. This is how we act with hope, to keep at it. The spiritual discipline of hope is to live with the uncertainty, to harness our need for control, to get better at shrugging off disappointment and losses. Pa shrugged, and I shrugged. I was not disappointed. My brothers all said, sometimes there is an owl, and sometimes there isn't. We know that disappointment is a part of it, part of the gamble we make in even trying to hope at all. It's not a sign of failure or an indication that we should give up, but rather just a natural outcome of living as we ought to live, with hope in our hearts. Hope suffused in our actions each and every time we simply just put one foot in front of the other. One small act towards possibility through uncertainty. I'm not saying disappointment is easy to abide. I count disappointment as the worst feeling in the world. I live my life trying to foresee and forestall any possibility of disappointment, keeping expectations low, controlling as much as I can so that I cannot say I didn't know what was coming. I always act as if I know what's coming. But the world we live in today is full of uncertainty. There are those among us living hour to hour, day to day, paycheck to paycheck, wading through uncertainty and unknowability all the time, who know disappointment intimately, closely, painfully aware of how often it comes to call. But we can choose to act with hope. In the space of all that is yet to be determined, despite disappointment, despite fear and uncertainty, what choice do we have but to put one foot in front of the other, not knowing the destination or whether there will be an owl? But we can know that there is beauty along the way, in the shadows of the ancient trees and in the clear, cold wind that fills our lungs, and in the bond that forms between us as we travel side by side through the dark. Reverend Nancy MacDonald Ladd says, "Hope is different. Like faith, hope is the exact opposite of certainty. It does not presume an outcome for good or for ill. It lies in the waiting moment when the tug from both directions is not yet fully resolved and when a great many things are still possible. It moves in the humble spaces that open when we allow ourselves to be uncertain and thus not fully self-contained. It is in the possibility, though not the inevitability, of a better way. The possibility, not the inevitability. Sometimes there is an owl, and sometimes there is not. But hope is the belief that what we do even still matters. How we treat one another, whether we stick with each other through thick and thin, whether we maintain faith in the goodness of our community and our ability to love one another, even if we cannot be perfected, even if what happens here among us and between us is flawed and full of awkward, stumbling attempts at growing up. What we do matters. Ours is a shared faith of praxis, not doctrine. These are acts of hope, living into the possibility that we make the world together that we want to live in, and it may not happen in our lifetimes. We act as if it's possible, not inevitable. And we learn to live with disappointment as part of the larger story we are helping to write. I say it all the time, so perhaps you will hear it when I am not the one speaking it, but we will do it together. We will offer one another hope when it is hard to find. We will be the brothers to one another that remind each other sometimes there's an owl, and sometimes there isn't. We will teach each other and companion each other through the possibilities and uncertainties of this time, knowing we cannot will our lives to be how they ought to be. We can merely act with hope, one foot in front of the other, humbly balanced between what we cannot control and committing to do what we can. Through it all, we will stand by each other through the darkest of nights, pointing out the starry skies and listening for the owl, the majestic bird with whom we might just chance a meeting. May it be so, and amen.
Will you rise in body or spirit and join in our closing song, Stand By Me? When Reverend Hannah says, I'm preaching on Owl Moon, could we do Stand By Me? And I say, that makes perfect sense. Sing like no one's listening, friends.
I want to invite Sean back up to close out our worship. Please join me in the words printed in your order of service. We extinguish our chalice, but the flame remains in us as we live into the mission of this congregation, building beloved community with compassion, service, and empowerment.
I thought it was very fitting. When the moon is the only light we see. Straight from the book. Yeah. Hope is hard to find. And on the eve of a blizzard, it feels even farther away. But it is there, and we offer it to one another when we can't find it readily for ourselves. And we take one step at a time into the uncertainty, into the possibility, knowing there is still so much to be decided, so much to be determined. The possibility of a better way, not the inevitability. We live in that possibility together. If you have not heard it yet this week, I love you. You are loved. Go forth. Have a blessed week. Be safe in the snow. May it be so, and amen. There is food. There's hoagies to go. Grab a hoagie and go.